Hey, how are you? Welcome to One Piece of a Dream. My name is Richard, this is my wife Claire,
Hello.
and today we're going to be discussing the new full spoilers that just came out for One Piece chapter 1074. The chapter is titled Mark III, and with that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop right into the spoilers. The chapter starts with the cover page art of Germa 66's Emotionless Excursion, Volume 30. Queen, Judge, and Caesar are fighting amongst each other.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah, who would have figured that much was going to happen? The chapter starts, though, with CP0 agents staying in the Fabrio phase, and they are being attacked by the 50 new units of Pacifista models called Mark III, hence the name of this chapter. The new Pacifistas have sunglasses and wear different uniforms, so they're styling. They can also use a technique called bubble shield, end quote.
Do you think they're dressed similar to the police Kuma?
I don't know, man. I don't know if you can beat the drip of the police Kuma. Police Kuma's pretty good. But yeah, they have a slime-like shield that Vegapunk developed so that they can defend themselves against oncoming attacks, which is cool. It's different. I mean, honestly, you could argue that you might have been able to make slime-like shields with some kind of a devil fruit ability, but it is interesting. It is unique. It's something we haven't really seen yet.
That it's not a devil fruit ability.
Yeah, I mean, when I kind of think of this, though, I kind of look at this as, like, being just like, okay, well, the slime shield, unless there's more to it, and I'm wrong, if the slime shield just comes up in front of them, like Gara's sand or something, and just blocks the attack, then it's kind of just like...
But it says bubble shield, so I'm thinking, like, it goes around.
Yeah, you're right, I guess it would be a bubble. So maybe it's like, yeah, maybe it's just like a big bubble of slime that goes around him. I don't know. I guess we'll see. As long as it's not like the slime in High School DxD that eats clothing. Not saying that wouldn't be a bad thing, but still at the same time...
I don't think Oda would be allowed to go that
No,
way.
that his editor would be like, hell no.
They wouldn't allow that.
No, but it would be... Now that I think about it, all the female characters are pretty much gone from this area, and I don't think we're going to see any female Marines. So you know what? I'm glad that actually isn't...
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm pretty glad that that's not the case. Now, moving on from this ridiculous topic, CP0 agents say that the new Pacifistas are far superior to the prototypes that the Marines used in Marineford, the Paramount War, and said Tamaru is the one that released the new Pacifistas. He ordered them to assist Dr. Vegapunk to escape from Egghead Island with the Straw Hat crew.
Well, it's to be expected that they're superior to the ones that we've seen before.
Yeah, we kind of figured that. They're
considering
upgraded.
how long it's been and it said they're upgraded, why wouldn't they be superior?
Yeah, they're obviously probably just going to be used to stop the incoming Marine fodder from the Armada that's coming in, but I do want to see some new interesting stuff. Maybe, as far as we know, I guess the slime thing, we know about that now, but I wonder if there's going to be any other new abilities.
Probably.
Like, I'm sure they'll have, like, bigger, badder Kizaru laser beams or something along those lines. But it's pretty cool also.
Better.
Yeah, it's nice that Sentamaru survived because last we saw of him, he had just been hit with a finger gun by Lucci, and he was not in great shape. The world's strongest defense was very much penetrated by the world's most L-taking tiger. Is he a tiger?
He's a leopard.
Leopard. Sorry, I'm bad with cats. I forgot if he was a leopard or a tiger. Actually, no. Jack the Drought, he's pretty up there, but he's also not a leopard. So I guess they're like up there with each other.
Mammoth.
Yeah, he's up there with Smoker and all the fun ones that take the L. So far, it does look like we're getting into some interesting territory. I don't think Lucci's going to be doing anything interesting, and I'm not going to say Lucci's weak because he's not. He did handle Gear 5 Luffy in the sense that he was almost knocked unconscious, but walked out with just a band-aid because of his awakened zone. So not going to say he's fodder, but so far he's been kind of like fodder.
He's a punk.
Yeah, he's been kind of a punk. Either way, Lucci and Kaku are unconscious at the moment, so CP0 is not even a threat right now. They'll probably be a threat later since Oda didn't just kill him off, so there's probably future plans for them. Anyway, enough about CP0. Moving on, still see a rise where Vegapunk's clones are and the Straw Hat crew, and she has the 4 Seraphim with her. Lucci and Kaku are both still unconscious. I'm assuming that she probably brought Lucci and Kaku in their Sea Prism Stone cuffs as well.
Just lugging them around.
Probably. The group decided to search for the real Vegapunk separately, but Luffy and Zoro won't go with them. Sanji asked to go with Stussy because obviously it's Sanji. He's going to want to go with the new pretty hot blonde girl.
Predictable.
Very predictable. I could think of better girls to go with that have been shown up in this, but I'm not going to say anything. Luffy is tired after all the running and fights. In addition, he broke his DOM shoes so he can't fly. Zoro is going to stay with him because the others don't want Zoro to get lost in the lab, going off by himself, more than likely. So Luffy and Zoro will stay in the control room guarding Lucci and Kaku. So yeah, as they just said in this line,
Also
they do have them. Yeah, they did bring them up to the control room, so they do have Lucci and Kaku. And it seems we're also continuing with the stereotype that Zoro can't go anywhere without getting lost. So the joke is still ongoing. We cut to Bonney, and she's in some sort of memory world that looks like a grass field. Vegapunk is not with Bonney, which is weird because last we saw Bonney and Vegapunk, they were together, and Vegapunk was turned to a child. Maybe it's just because Vegapunk didn't touch the memories, but Bonney did, and Vegapunk as an infant just was not going to go in after her. So it's possible
where is she?
I don't know. I think
is she still in that room, or just seeing the memories, or did it actually take her somewhere?
It might have took her somewhere. If the memories are tangible, it might have transported her to like an artificial version of the place where the memories took place, if I had to guess. And Vegapunk probably stayed where he was, and he's either that or he just left and walked off somewhere.
Or got kidnapped.
Or yeah, it's really hard. I don't know who would have kidnapped him though. Everybody that could have kidnapped him is still not there to kidnap him. So then again, that's not true. Because we move on to find out more about the traitor from a few chapters ago, if I remember right, when I read the pre-made spoilers. So, we'll get to that, hopefully. I could be wrong, don't get your hopes up yet.
One step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. Let's just go ahead and move on. Okay? We cut to Bonney, and she's in some sort of memory world that looks like a grassy field. Vegapunk is not with Bonney. Bonney sees the shadow of a castle and some Tenryubito, so the celestial dragons are there. Then Bonney sees a young Kuma. He looks like the SBS picture, being abused by some people, not the Tenryubito. Abusers are someone else. So, it's not the celestial dragons abusing him, which is surprising.
So who could it be?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Young Kuma is being forced to return to somewhere or some people he knows will be killed. Probably family or something like that. So, someone is being an ass to Kuma right now. Someone is threatening Kuma, and I hope we get a little bit more detail on this in the upcoming chapter. I want to know who it is. I'm wondering if they're just going to be like a silhouette or something we see.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. I want to see who this is. Because you expect this from the Celestial Dragons. You don't really expect this from, like, random people. Then again, I mean, you can expect... That's not true. That's not true. There's been a lot of bad people in this story that weren't Celestial Dragons. But the Celestial Dragons are there. You would expect this to be something that they were doing, not someone else. Kind of makes me wonder, does this, like, group that is causing these issues with Kuma... Are they in with the Celestial Dragons, and the Celestial Dragons are just bystanders, or how does this work? I don't know. I'm interested to see.
They're together.
They are there together, so they're probably related somehow.
Could be.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the lab. Pythagoras is searching for the real Vegapunk. Suddenly, Pythagoras turns around because he senses something, and the part of the building where Pythagoras is explodes. Ooh, so something crazy is going on here, because CP0 has been, essentially incapacitated. Mm-hmm. So, who could this be? The Frontier Dome barriers are down again, and Vegapunk clones cannot close them. Shaka is trying to fix the problem, because if they try to go out now, they will be shot by CP0. Okay, so the lower tier fodder of CP0 is still there. I'm kind of surprised they're even worried about them, because I would think that they're at least above low tier CP0 fodder members, but apparently they are still worried about it. As far as this goes, clearly they're still a traitor.
Nobody likes to be shot at.
That's true, nobody does, but clearly they're still a traitor here. And who that traitor is, I really kind of hope we get a reveal soon, because this is getting a little bit...
hairy.
Yeah, hairy. I want to know who this is that's causing these problems, because I still think it could possibly be like Edison or something, maybe even Shaka at this point.
I don't know about Edison.
I don't know, Shaka's the only one...
Shaka.
He's literally at the control panel right now, though, claiming he's trying to fix it. How do we know he wasn't actually just doing the opposite, since nobody else other than the other Vegapunk clones, who aren't in the room with him, apparently, actually know how to work that control panel?
I don't know. I just can't see it being Shaka.
Yeah, he literally predicted...
it'd be more likely to be Edison than Shaka.
Well, Shaka literally predicted his own death earlier on. Thinking about it, Shaka is the Vegapunk of logic and justice. So, wouldn't Shaka, who believes in justice, what if his version of justice actually lines up with the government's version of justice, and he is maybe he has his own, credo of justice, similar like how Sakazuki and the other admirals have. What if his version of justice involves him and the other Vegapunks having to die to achieve what he feels is justice, because maybe he has his goals lined up more with whatever the government's goals are. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I don't think that's accurate. It's probably not accurate. I don't know if he's, actually suicidal, but I can't think of who else could be manning the control panel right now and doing this unless somehow he was working with the government. And I feel like there's been a little bit of foreshadowing, though, for this, because, think about it. Lilith going over a few chapters ago into Shaka's face and be like, oh, you're so good, whatever, being a smarty to him. And we all think Lilith was, at first, the one that might have done this, the obvious choice. What if Shaka actually isn't as good as Shaka seems like he's being made out to be? What if Shaka really is the traitor? I'm going to say that, you know what? I'm going to guess now. I think Shaka might be the traitor. Moving on, though, we cut outside of Egghead Island and we can see the World Economy newspaper ship flying in the sky. Vivi is inside of the ship with Morgan and Wapple. Big news Morgan, for those of you who don't remember. Wapple is not with his wife, Kinderella. Wapple is hiding from the world government like Vivi is. Wapple tells Vivi to keep her voice down since there may be world government devices hidden somewhere in the ship. Morgan is thinking of a headline after hearing that Luffy is on Egghead Island.
Who could forget about Morgan's?
Some people, I mean, he's not brought up that often. I don't know, you probably didn't forget. I just felt like...
not, he's not a very forgettable character.
Well, if you did forget, big news Morgan is the big bird. He's a tough guy bird who likes to take no one's crap, and he says whatever he wants in his newspaper, and
he one-shotted a CP0 agent.
Yeah, and all things considered, though, this next part may seem that he might have bent to the will of the government a little bit, but let me just keep going. In the next part, we get a quote from Morgan saying, "Got it. Yonko Straw Hat Luffy took Vegapunk as hostage. He took over Egghead Island and is about to start a war against the Marines. The world government is going to love this headline." Then Morgan tells his staff to go and collect some more money from the world government. Vivi is angry at him. As I said, it seems that Morgan did end up bending the knee to the government. I guess they won him over, and he is now taking the money to write the headlines.
But Vivi, this is reasonable Vivi behavior.
Yeah, well, Vivi responds to him and says that Luffy wouldn't do such a thing. So, as we could expect, Vivi is trying to stop this headline from coming out because she knows Luffy would never do that. And hopefully it does get changed because this is not accurate. It's going to make these Straw Hats look worse than they should. And in reality, this is just going to be a big hit out on the Straw Hats to, if anybody sees them with Vegapunk, call the world government right away because he's been kidnapped and the world government needs to come and save him, even though they're just going to try and kill him. Vivi may end up, explaining to Morgans and twisting the headline to where maybe he'll write that it's Luffy and Vegapunk protecting themselves from the world government or something like that. We'll see what happens. But Morgan responds to her and says, "You were crying until yesterday, and now you dare tell me how to do my job. I am the only one who can shake this world. It doesn't matter if it's truth or lie, since newspaper is entertainment." The words of a real journalist spoken out of a bird. That is the truest thing. I think that One Piece... Nah, it's not the truest thing, but it's definitely one of the truer things that One Piece has said.
I have a prediction.
Okay, go on.
I think in order to prevent this headline from going out, I think Vivi will propose to Morgans a story about what actually happened at the Reverie.
Well, if we remember right, the whole reason that the CP0 agent tried to take out Morgans and bribe him and all that was because he was going to report on something that happened at the Reverie, the murder of King Cobra. At the time, Morgans wasn't willing to accept the bribe, and he basically fought back. Now it seems like maybe the world government has pressed their thumb down on him a little bit more, and maybe now he's actually willing to take the bribes and work with them more. It's hard to say what the actual reasoning is, but it very much seems like since he's collecting money from the government, that now he's strictly, making propaganda articles and trying to influence the world to fit the world government's narrative, A, to protect himself, and B, to make money. So, it seems he may have turned around and actually done this. Unless this is something he has always done, and he just picks and chooses when he wants to accept the bribes, which would also make sense. But I guess we'll find out later. Hopefully, the story does get turned around to where it's reasonably written, and where it's actually the truth. But obviously, Vivi doesn't have a way of knowing that Vegapunk is an assassination target of the government right now. But if she were to guess or suggest the headline, and it just coincidentally be accurate, then that would be cool. But really, what's probably the case is that Wapple and Vivi went to Morgan's with news about what happened at the Reverie, like the real story of what went down, that it wasn't Sabo, that killed Cobra, the true things that they saw. And it's possible that Morgan's maybe is refusing to write the article because he just can't. He doesn't want to risk his life, and he doesn't want to, put himself in jeopardy and lose the income now. There's too much on the line for him at the moment because of how much the world government has been maybe coming after him. Or maybe I'm wrong and he will write it. I guess we'll find out whenever we get to that part. And with that being said, that's the end of the 1074 spoilers. There's no break next week, so look forward to the new chapter coming out on time. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to this chapter too, but it seems like this chapter is just going to make more questions than answers, although I am looking forward to the new Pacifistas. I want to see how they perform. If you want to see our review for the new chapter when it releases, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's a well-known secret now on YouTube that if you go down into that little part under the video and you tap that black button that says subscribe, it'll actually do this cool little thing where it turns white. So if you want to see that, just go tap it. It's really neat. I promise you'll be like, wow, that's magic. I can't believe it did that. And I'm sorry that was probably really cringe, but With that out of the way, this is One Piece of a Dream. I'm Richard, this is Claire, and we'll see you guys again in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.